Hey there, everyone. It's February 3rd, 2017. You're listening to the Sorcerer Weekly podcast, your podcast for everything fairy tale related. I am Spidey. I'm joined by Icy.
Hello.
Soma.
What's up, guys?
And Shadow, the Hyper Shadow.
Yeah.
So, this week we had a bit of news on the movie, more news actually. So we're gonna talk about this for a bit. Then we're gonna go into voice acting and who we think should be voice acting for the new characters that are going to come out. There will be some slight spoilers because of the characters and who they are, but we won't do much on that. We're also going to talk about Mashima and his fixation on Ichiya, especially on Twitter.
And then
he has quite a fixation, and we'll talk about that. We're also going to discuss more on the movie, but we're going to tie it with the manga. So there's going to be manga spoilers, so we'll save that towards the back end. We will also discuss the spoilers that have come out. Hopefully the chapter comes out while we're recording, so we could give you our live reactions. If they don't, we'll just discuss the spoilers themselves. But with that being said, we're going to start with the movie. As you guys know, we have a new image that was on the website. And Icy, start off with how you feel about the images, what you think's going on, and so forth.
I think the first thing I noticed was that there's some kind of dog in the images.
A motley.
Yeah. And, there's Lucy, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And we can see Erza in a bunny suit, so I think that's pretty cool. It looks like it's gonna be a good movie. Got a little bit of everything.
What do you think the dog's purpose in the movie is gonna be? Do you think he's gonna be like the MacGuffin, the thing that they're trying to protect or something, or do you think he's just gonna play a minor role in it?
I think it's a minor role, honestly, because you only see him in like 2 pages, and it's just him being scared by Natsu. So.
What about Shadow and Soma? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that he will be that, or what do you think?
I feel like he won't be that important. I feel like he's probably just going to be a bit more like Plue and sort of like comedic relief and being cute at the same time. That's pretty much his purpose, probably. Because we don't see him in any of the other like storyboard panels type things, other than those 2 ones on like 1 page.
Yeah, he looks to me like he's just going to be part of a one-off joke. Like, his design's really nondescript, so I can't imagine having a big role.
Okay, I'm sorry for laughing, but Soma, I don't know if you were watching ET or what, but that entire whatever you said just completely broke and I couldn't understand you. I don't know if you want to unplug your mic and plug it back in.
I think Soma broke.
While Soma fixes his technical issues, I see. What were you saying?
What?
What were you saying? What were you saying about the dog?
Again, I think the dog is. I agree with Shadow. I think the dog is just comedic relief. But again, I said this before, but you can see Erza in a bunny suit, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Something I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like it's Aquarius in the top right. You know where Natsu's got that signature leg kick. On the bottom portion, it looks like it's Aquarius.
Oh.
I'm not sure if that'll mean much.
I can see that.
But like you said, there's that. We also have.
There's also a Lucy. Well, there's a Lucy like a Lucy Natsu sort of friendship moment, because you can see the 2 different panels, and Lucy is winking at Natsu, and they're like probably about to go tag team somebody.
Yeah. I have no idea what that means, because we've seen some of these panels look similar to what's happened in the manga before and in the anime before, right? Where you see their little subtle connection. We also have Makarov on the far left, or it looks like Makarov.
Is that Makarov on the far left? I
thought
don't
it was.
know.
I thought it was a different, like a villain. It didn't look like that.
Yeah, it
Makarov.
looks too
I didn't think
evil
It was
to be Makarov.
Oh, it's just it looks like his creepy ass grin, but then
Yeah,
we
but
have.
like the eyes and the eyebrows aren't. They're not the same.
We'll talk more about it in the manga when we get to the manga portion of this, but I don't know. In my opinion, it kind of looked like Makarov just by the way his eyes and his smile was. We also have, like you guys said, Happy. Natsu scares the in the middle panel, of course. Natsu's got that little crazy stare, and then someone
Someone hits him, with like a rolled up magazine or something.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. We also have Lucy, what it appears to be daydreaming about what she wanted to be, which is probably a gypsy dancer or something.
That looks like a belly
that's
dancer, not a-
daydreaming.
Is it daydreaming?
Yeah.
I thought.
Well, because the bottom image has her like, like if you, in that daydreaming state.
But she still looks like she has on the outfit in the top panel.
Yeah.
So it could be like she had to dance for something or other. And then we see what might be Erza, because you can see an earring, which looks like one of Erza's earrings.
I've never recognized any of Urza's earrings.
Neither have I, but I'll take Icy's word for it.
I don't know, it's like that sort of got that long diamond shape, so.
Disconnect. So we have all this. We have. How do you think Happy's gonna react to the dog?
Probably will be like freaked out and stuff. Like, oh my god, there's a dog, what?
Do you think he'll be slightly jealous?
It's possible. Or he'll just sort of. I don't know. I think Happy might do the thing where he makes all those really obnoxious comments.
That's true. One last thing I've noticed is that in the middle of it, right next to Natsu's like death stare and his signature kick, you see him kind of like flying, where he's done that pose. When he's done that pose with
flying
Happy
punch.
Yeah. So it seems like he's taught Mashima, because we know Mashima drew the storyboard for this and had to be approved. It seemed like he's using old panels, old things he's done in the past in the series, and just bringing it with a new flavor, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Which is quite interesting, to be honest.
I like how there's just like we get to see at the bottom left of all these like story panels. It's just end and then 4 exclamation marks. Like that's specifically given to us for like a reason, I think.
Yeah.
Well, see, I thought the same thing, but somebody on Reddit made the point that could just mean that it's the final page, because if we look at the numbers in the bottom next to it, it says like 193 or 95.
Oh yeah, and there's another page that says 94.
Yeah,
also, and then 116.
We have the Lucy page that says 33.
Okay, so if we're putting them sort of in order, then it would be Lucy's dancing or daydreaming. And then after that, it would be some kind of battle of some kind, because you can kind of see like rocks flying, there's dust and stuff. And then maybe the final tag team battle on the right with Lucy and Natsu, and then you can see Natsu and Happy running. And then 190, whatever page that is.
So yeah, it could just be a little teaser that the end is there for us, but they don't want to show it just yet. That'd be interesting. So whoever did that on Reddit, I can't remember your name. I apologize. That was a good observation on your part. While we still wait for Soma because of his technical issues, we could just talk about Mashima and his Twitter fixation on Ichiya, right?
Does he have a Twitter fixation on Ichiya? Because I've only seen the one image that slightly burned my cornea. So
I could show you all the images, but I want you to see and make sure you you could go through everyday life without having to stab your eyes out. But he's constantly drawing.
Oh dear.
He's constantly drawing. Remember, he drew that picture of Jenny in like that bikini pose, and then the day prior to that, he drew Ichiya in that pose, right, with the bikini. with the like actual bra and like.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and he also drew. Remember when he made him quote unquote handsome once, or he was like super skinny and no fight.
Yeah.
And then, and then this latest one. I'm sure I'm missing some. Hopefully, I'm missing some.
What is he wearing? Like, what is that?
Oh, it's well in Japan. It's called the Virgin Killer, something like that. Virgin Sweater Killer or something. I don't.
It's slightly horrifying.
Virgin Sweater Killer. Virgin Killer
there
Sweater.
You go. So it kills you as a virgin or something?
It's supposed to be so attractive, seductive, whatever the word is, to virgins that they die of like being horny.
Oh, wow. Good old Mashima.
Can we also talk about that
It wasn't made by Mashima. It was made by some Japanese person.
No. I'm saying good old Mashima giving us that Twitter image of Ichiyo and that image.
Can we just talk about the Laxus and Elfman photo that he posted in November of them wrestling?
Like November? Is it November this year or last? I mean, like November last year.
Oh, last year because we're barely in February this year.
You know what I meant.
November 2016.
Was that with Ichiyo too in the steam bath?
No, it was in a bundle with the Zervis thing where they're at the festival. Hang on, let me just get that for you.
Well, you get that. How did Shadow? You tell me how you felt when you saw that picture of Mashima or that Mashima drew of Ichiyo. Describe.
I was like, well, we've been getting a couple nice pics. It's been time for Trollshima to be a turn.
He literally showed us his ass crack. Why? Why? Like literally, why would he do? Why would you do this? Well, I get the fan base, especially the Western fan base, hasn't been happy with your recent chapters, but there's no need to punish all of us by giving us Ichiyo like that.
Ugh.
Not all of us agree with that reasoning, right?
Check
the discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, I posted that.
So it seems like that's good old yaoi for you, right?
Yeah.
Better love story than Yuri on Ice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Don't diss Yuri on Ice.
It's a mediocre story with a mediocre animation.
Oh my god.
That only got popular because
we're not friends anymore. I can't be friends with someone I'm
speaking the truth. The only reason they got hype was because it showed a same-sex couple. The story itself was mediocre. You wouldn't have cared if they were heterosexual. But enough about Yuri on Ice. Yeah, I don't know why Mashima would draw these guys sumo wrestling. Essentially, is Elfman trying to grab his ass?
I don't know. It looks really gay.
I'll be honest.
Sorry,
I don't understand sumo
offensive,
wrestling anyway, so it's not. I'm completely confused in that pic.
And then you have people cheering in the background. They're like, "What the fuck is going on? Is that Tumblr in the background cheering?" No, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
No, it's just
very. It's like Laxus is like grabbing his waistband, and it looks like I don't know.
It's okay. So we'll describe it for the listener. So they're essentially sumo wrestling. You have Elfman grabbing him by the hip, grabbing Laxus by the hip or lower back, and then you have Laxus with a grin on his face, grabbing him by the waistline. Very weird. I don't know.
He's grabbing the waistband of his Speedo, essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't get that. But this is what I mean. Mashima, what Mashima give us, Mashima take it away, right? Because he's always posting these pictures of the female characters and sometimes Natsu and Kei, the core characters, right? And then he gives us something like this or something like the Chia image, where I don't know, goddamn Mashima, right? Where it's funny because that post on Reddit when it was submitted on subreddit, right? It was reported how many times, Shadow? Like 4 or 5?
I will be honest, I missed the entire day. I didn't see any of the reports. Strangely, didn't see any. It was like, but
yeah, it was bad. People were like, oh my God. They're like, one of the reports I think said my eyes. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And I just like as soon as I saw twin tails, and he had twin tails, it was like, oh my God,
no, please.
Twin tails. You see his ass crack. You see him smiling. Like, Mashima,
no
please.
more, please. I can't handle it. It's
Mashima,
too much.
please. Why you do this to us? That just Mashima's just weird like that sometimes, right? But only so much you can do. I don't think we've asked you actually, because I know you joined us last podcast, but I think we asked you your favorite Mashima image from Twitter.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I was gonna. I don't know.
It better not be the Ichiya image.
I was about to say the Ichiya image, but it's I really like his Lucy images. And I think the favorite image of her is either the one that he drew with Lucy and Juvia, and it was like a quick sketch. And Lucy's in her. I don't want to spoil, but like she's in her Taurus star dress. Sorry.
It's fine. It's not that. It's not.
I actually like that
major.
because her boobs didn't look like as big as her head. It's a nice sketch. Plus, I don't know. It's just nice.
What was that on his Twitter though?
Yeah.
So her in a dress with normal sized boobs. You like that?
Yes, with Juvia. Yeah. That's a nice image. Oh, look, I found it.
Oh, all right then. So,
one of the things while we were talking about Twitter, I was checking through his Twitter, which was the reason why I was a bit quiet, and I just saw an image of like Urza, but which just sort of reminded me of Borderlands like art style, because it had like a black border around the actual drawing of it. If I can find it again.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing we have seen from Mashima, right? Not a lot of them, but like a good portion of them are drawn in different styles, as opposed to the style he uses. We've seen him, like Shadow said, with the border that's very Western style with the comic book aspect, especially Marvel. I know does the thick black lines around the characters. We've also seen him do like some pastel style drawings. So it's kind of fun to see how he's experimenting and trying new things on Twitter. Maybe in the future series he'll do the same thing. But who knows? Because like it's kind of fun seeing him as you can't say that his art style copies One Piece anymore. You've seen it grow, and you see how he's experimented through Twitter, which is always amazing. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I think it's nice that he's trying like new styles now. Like, I'd hope he's testing them out on Twitter to see how people like him. So he gets enough confidence to vary up his actual art style in a future manga.
Because I mean, when you look at Rave Master compared to Fairy Tail, like the beginning of Fairy Tail looked a lot like Rave Master, but then it evolved a lot. So the beginning of Fairy Tail compared to now, like the styles aren't even recognizable.
Yeah. One of the differences was they had a huge foreheads.
Yeah, they had like really large foreheads and like thin necks, kind of thing. And then all of his characters were like really long
twigs and huge foreheads. Like forehead so big might as well be called 5-head, because that shit was big. Like it was just huge. Like especially Natsu and Lucy was the worst, I think. Where she just had a ginormous forehead. I was like, God damn.
Their eyes too. Their eyes were like really, really big. Like their eyes are still big, but there's just something like kind of creepy about them.
And then Happy was I think Happy got fatter.
Happy, yeah, Happy looked weird at the beginning.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Happy looked at the beginning. I'll just
It was just you don't want to look at Happy. You'd probably be scarred seeing him.
Soma would like to say that Happy was legitimately scary.
Soma should fix his mic so he could communicate with us. What happened, Shadow?
I'm looking at my. Oh yeah, Happy was a bit weird looking at because I just opened in volume 1 and tried to find Happy, and yeah, it does look a lot weirder. Just basically a head and then tiny arms and legs.
All right,
Yeah.
let's.
Yeah.
Soma, can you hear us? I guess he cannot.
No,
Lovely.
he just left again.
It's fine. We'll continue without him. Like they say, the show must go on. Well, let's see the next segment. Oh wait, Soma, are you there?
Oh, that's
Okay,
much better.
there we
Hey,
go.
no.
Back.
You're back.
Wow.
Well, at least you're not in the bathroom either, so that's
Yes, he's
always
back.
a plus.
Back again. Anyway, yeah.
So we were talking about Mashima and his somewhat weird fixation on Ichiya in his Twitter images. As we saw with his latest Twitter graffiti, he drew Ichiya in that. What did he call it, Shadow?
Version killer sweater.
So just give us a quick.
I need to see the picture again.
Oh my god, I'm surprised you don't have it saved on your phone.
Yeah, right next to the altar.
Oh, it's here.
Go away.
So just give us your thoughts, and do you think or do you agree that Mashima may have some weird fixation on Ichiya, whether it be for trolling purposes or just because he finds him like a good character?
Oh my, what is that? I've never seen this before. What is this? Why did he do this? He's got Lucy's hair.
No, shut the fuck up. No, he doesn't.
The 20 tails.
No, he does not.
I can't.
Don't you ever say that.
Oh my god. What?
He has his ass crack showing. I know you like that.
Go away. Well, that's...
So what are your thoughts on the picture, since this is your first time seeing such a beautiful picture?
I could have gone the rest of my life and my children's lives and my grandchildren's lives without seeing this, and I would have been a happier man.
So I take it you didn't like the picture.
No, I loved it. No, I'm kidding. That was... Why? Why did he do this? April Fool's isn't for another 2 months.
That's a good idea though.
Oh no, what have I done?
What have you done? Ichiya theme once more. Nah. No, so but like I see, and I was explaining to you, I see how Mashima's drawn Ichiya in a female bikini before, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's drawn him in very weird, to put it kindly, drawings. Like, why does he do that? What do you think he does that?
I think primarily just for humour, I think, just for the lols. Like,
that's not humor.
well, he's got a weird sense of humour, we know that.
It's funny for him because he annoys people, and in a sense, which makes him laugh.
i.e. trolling.
Yeah.
We've got experience with that.
Oh yeah, we do a bit. So we've talked about. Oh, you didn't give us while you were messing up with your mic. We also talked about the movie itself. We discussed a bit about it. Do you want to talk about it? Do you have your quick thoughts about it, or do you want to wait till we get to the manga portion and discuss it there?
If we're being honest, I don't really have many more thoughts on the movie past what I said last time. So let's just. I'll see
Fair
it
enough.
for manga.
Fair enough. If you want to know Soma's thoughts, just listen to the second podcast. So this next segment is something Soma's been trying to make us do for God knows how long.
And no one wanted to do it.
Well, I wanted to do it,
Well-
but I had no idea, so I had to research.
Yeah, I don't I'm not good with this kind of stuff. So
So the thing that someone wanted to talk about so badly was, as we know, the anime is coming back, and we know, well, we're gonna be assured that Funimation is gonna be the dub studio once more. So I wanted to talk about some potential voice actors for the new characters that are coming back. So we will be talking about some manga characters that are not in the anime right now, because like I said, it's in hiatus, so the anime hasn't returned. So if you don't want to hear our thoughts on this portion, you could just skip forward. We'll try to give you a timestamp of when it's safe to talk or listen once more, but that's your warning so far. Soma, go ahead and start off.
Alright, so in terms of the Spriggan 12 like VAs, because those are the main ones that I've got, really. Some of these choices are better than others, and some are more, let's say, out there, I guess, in the sense that they would absolutely not happen, ever. But I'll go
before we start, this is like our dream, like our fantasy lineup for the Spriggan, right? Where we're trying to be realistic, but at the same time, it's what we want. So if it's not realistic, realize that we're doing this not to be the most realistic, but to have fun and discuss it. So
yeah,
my bet.
So I think one of the ones I like the most of mine is my picks for Brandish. So for Brandish, my first pick was Stephanie Sheh, who is a voice actress for Hinata from Naruto and Orihime from Bleach, and she's also Faja and Rajat from Fire Emblem. I imagine Brandish having quite a almost, I don't want to say emotionless voice, but quite a neutral voice, because she looks very neutral most of the time. She's got a kind of blank, almost blank expression on her face. So I imagine.
So Kristen Stewart, right?
Well, yeah, but she's still attractive. No shade to be thrown there, except I clearly did. But anyway, yeah, so something along those lines. So that's what I thought Stephanie Sheh would be quite a good match for her, because especially one of the roles that Stephanie did is Baruka, who's also from Fire Emblem. And Baruka is characterized explicitly as like kind of an emotionless person because of like her past. I won't go too much into it. Because of her past, she like has kind of closed herself off from emotions entirely. So she speaks with a very calm tone, like almost monotone. I imagine Brandish being something like that, but at the same time, there are some scenes later on where she's a lot more excitable. So when she meets Happy, like when she makes Happy giant, and she kind of like goes all squee and like starts hugging him and stuff, I can imagine her being a bit more excited there. I think Stephanie could do that too. So that's one of my picks for Brandish, and my other one was Cindy Robinson, who is the current voice of Amy Rose from the Sonic franchise, and she's also voiced Libra from Fire Emblem Awakening. Spoilers, there's going to be a lot of Fire Emblem voice actors in this.
I was about to say. So and why would she be the voice actress that you choose for her?
I just like the idea that Cindy Robinson is quite good at voicing, again, quite calm characters, because Libra is a very calm, neutral, kind of almost passive character, which again fits Brandish quite well. And on the other end of the spectrum, Amy Rose is really girly, and she's really energetic, and I think that would also fit the things I was talking about with Brandish before, like when she was fucking happy and everything. So I think that shows that Cindy has a pretty good range when it comes to her voice, and she'd be able to fit the kind of moods and the situations that Brandish is in throughout the arc quite well. So those would be my picks for Brandish.
What about you? Whoever wants to go either.
I can go, because Brandish for my pick would be Wendy Lee, who plays Shaw in Blue Exorcist for the dub. And
okay.
I don't know, I just thought that her voice, like, pretty sure I've heard of something else other than Blue Exorcist, it's just that's where I could actually remember her from. I just liked her voice, and like, I think it would suit Brandish. I'm not really sure what else to say.
Why would her voice fit for Brandish, in your opinion?
I just felt like the way like Shaw, what I remembered Shaw from The Exorcist, just sort of like how she's messes around at sometimes, which Brandish does as well, but he's usually calm and serious. It reminded me of Brandish in a way that I thought, oh, this voice actor could do this character.
All right. Icy, do you have a voice actor in mind for Brandish, or
for Brandish? Well, my personal preference for Fairy Tale is the sub. So for Brandish's sub voice actress, I would choose. I'm gonna totally mess up all of these names. Michiko Naya.
What is she?
She played. Well, she was in Soul Eater. She played Arachne. And her voice is like, she sounds, at least in this role from Soul Eater, she sounded very kind of evil, but she has a sort of low voice that's very smooth, and I feel like that would really suit Brandish. And she's a pretty good voice actress, so I'm sure that she could like adjust her voice to make it sound a little bit more monotone, like Soma and Shadow were saying.
So, Icy gave us her pick for the sub. Shadow and Soma gave us their respective picks for the dub on Brandish. I have no picks because, like I told them, I usually just watch the anime just to watch it. I don't focus on the characters. So from time to time, for now, I'm gonna be chiming in and asking questions so they could essentially sell me on the voice actor themselves and why they would fit the role. So we've covered Brandish, who plays a pivotal role in the arc itself, you could say. What about, and we're not going to discuss all these friggin' because that'd be a podcast in itself, which we could do if enough people want it, or if the others want to discuss it. But we'll just cover a few, and then we'll cover some in the earlier arc that we didn't mention. Who would you guys cast for Irene?
Okay.
Now we're not gonna spoil who Irene is or what she does. Just sell me on who would Irene be, why, and maybe what they're best known for.
Yeah. Okay. So my pick, I kind of decided this really quickly. Pretty much as soon as I thought about voice actors for Irene, this voice came to me immediately, and it's Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey is best known as, in terms of anime, probably the fact that she's Lust from Fullmetal Alchemist, and she's also Lucina in Fire Emblem Awakening, and she's also the current voice of Blaze the Cat in the Sonic franchise. I think she also voices somebody from Saints Row as well. But it's primarily the Lust voice that really kind of sold me, because if people have seen Irene, they know that Irene's quite a sultry character. To put it mildly, she has a certain charm about her, which I imagine Laura will be able to capture quite well, because she's got experience with that, because Lost is extremely similar in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. I mean, the clue is in the name. She's all about kind of sex appeal, basically. And Laura pulls that off very well. She had very kind of smoky, deep, seductive kind of voice, which I think would fit Irene really well for what Irene is portrayed as being, especially a bit later on. I think it would fit her very well. And actually, her voice as Lucina is a lot more calm and a lot more light and kind of more good guy, more goody two-shoes. That could also fit a little bit. No spoilers, but just... So yeah, that'd be my pick.
That's your pick. What about you, Shadow? Who's your...
I pick Stephanie Young, and because there's times when Irene was quite serious, taking the war really serious, and her playing Olivier Armstrong in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood shows that she can do that. I mean, she's also been Karen Lilick in Fairy Tail as well, so it's not totally out of the ballpark that she's gets brought in again. And like I was watching like the Robin One Piece, a clip for Robin One Piece where it sounded like she was she could also do the sexy bits, sort of voice acting for Irene as well. And then she's also plays Kuroka in Born High School DxD. So
Really?
she probably. Well, that's
She
what.
plays really?
Well,
I thought
that's
it
what
was-
Mal says.
I
That
thought
was
it
Mal
Lydia
says anyway.
McKay.
I mean,
I
Mal
thought Correct
says.
was Lydia McKay.
Mal says it, so I'm just guessing.
Alright.
If Mal says it.
Well,
I
you're
just-
going off of Mal. So
Yeah, I'm going off
apologize.
of things. It might not be completely obvious, but I'll actually.
No, okay, but that's fine. That's fine. So you gave us a bit of who they voiced in the past. Kuroko. I forgot how to pronounce her name. She could be one of them. We're not sure. You're going based off what you saw now. That's perfectly fine. I see. You said you like the subbed version more. So who would your sub pick be, and what are they known for?
Well, I'm trying to think here. For the sub for Irene, I don't know who it is, but okay, I'm a really big fan of Soul Eater, if you can't tell, because all of my voice actor picks have been from Soul Eater.
Yes, you have.
But for Irene, I would choose the person who voiced Medusa in the sub. I think Irene has more like of a low voice, but like also mature voice, and the voice actor for Medusa, she has like, I don't know, there's a mature voice, but it's almost like a cynical, sort of sarcastic tone to it. So I think that would be very appropriate for Irene.
So as the listeners are well aware now, Irene is quite a force in the arc itself. We won't talk about what exactly she does or her involvement in it, but she plays quite a role in it, right? So that's why I wanted to make sure we cover at least Irene, who we've seen quite a bit of. Soma covered Brandish initially. Now, another character who's had quite a role is the character of, what was his name? Marin, right? Marin?
Oh, yeah.
He is one
Oh.
of Brandish's sergeants, let's
Oh.
just say.
I haven't done him.
I haven't picked a voice for him.
So
No. I've all the characters I've done is the Spriggan 12, Belsirion, Hyperion, and Wolfheim.
and the last ones Shadow mentioned are the Gods of Ishkal, who were teased in the Grand Magic games on both the sub and the dub. So you guys haven't done Marin, that's fine. Should have done your homework. I'm just kidding.
We probably should have made a list of characters we need to dub.
That's a
Oh,
good
yeah,
point.
well,
Instead of just guessing.
There's a lot of them, and
Yeah.
even then we wouldn't. That'd be too time consuming. So it was best to go our own. Did you guys cover who you would want as Jacob?
Yeah.
I did. I struggled with Jacob a lot, actually. He was the only one I like.
All right.
I had a lot of trouble
All right. So explain. So I'm gonna explain who Jacob is a bit. If you see Jacob, you're gonna see Jason Statham. Just letting you know that when you see Jacob, you're gonna confuse him with Jason Statham, and I think that was Mashima's intention. With that being said, who do you guys have as the voice actor for Jason Statham manga edition?
Well,
think it
I don't have
think-
Jason Statham.
even though it writes itself.
Yeah. I just avoided putting Jason Statham there. And then,
Yeah.
and then I basically realised, because I basically just thought, I don't really know who I could do with this one. I'll do the others first. Then I went out of voice actors and thought, let's just pick somebody. And I then ended up with Rise of Phoenix's dub, Christopher Corey Smith.
Oh, that's actually not a bad
Christopher
shout.
Corey Smith. It's quite a name. What else are they known for?
I'll go Google it now.
Okay,
He is.
while you Google it,
He is a
while you
couple
Google
supporting
it,
characters in Bleach: Makato Kabuni, Rujuro Otorabashi, Wonderweiss Margella in Bleach. He's
I
been
think
in
he's the
Digimon,
Joker.
Durarara.
he's the Joker?
in like Lego Batman.
Oh, okay. I was about to say like. First of all, he's not Mark Hamill.
No, he's not.
So I was about to say
here's like a couple things in Naruto Shippuden of like Gamaru, Kendachi, Biki Morino, Akaboshi.
So he's played characters in Bleach and
He's got One Piece.
Naruto.
He's got One Piece of Spandam and Spandine.
All right.
Okay.
He's got.
And why did you choose him?
He's been in Vampire Knight of K and Cross and Attack on Titan as Oluwu Bazoda. And I just chose him because I thought, I basically just thought, I liked Rise of Phoenix's dub voice, and I can't think of anybody else. I'm not gonna lie.
So Riser Phoenix from the DxD series, correct?
Yeah.
All right. I was just making sure so the audience could know where he's from. He's kind of a douchebag in that series.
Yeah, I didn't really like Jake. To be honest, I didn't really like the character anyway, so it's like
makes sense that you pick a scumbag.
Make sure you pick him for Jacob.
Yeah.
What about you, Soma?
Right. So like I said, I struggled with this quite a lot because honestly, I found it hard to get a read on Jacob's character because he's like kind of simultaneously this complete joke and also like kind of serious. So
well, I wouldn't say he's a joke. I was just saying he was very, very subpar. I
mean, I don't mean joke as in bad. I just mean joke as in like you can't really take him seriously because of that one scene. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
So I found it a little bit hard to kind of gauge him. So what in the end I ended up doing was thinking, okay, let me think of like characters who are simultaneously kind of wacky and kind of not 100% serious, but then can also be kind of serious. And I thought, okay, what about the Joker? So that led me to actually end up picking. I've got 2 picks, and one of them is John DiMaggio, who is not an anime voice actor. I went more Western. John DiMaggio is probably best known for being Bender from Futurama, and Dr. Draken from Kim Possible. He's also Motorhead in Kim Possible. So if you think about someone like both the Joker, who I forgot to mention, John DiMaggio plays the Joker in I think Arkham Knight. So if you think about the Joker and Draken, like they're both characters who are villains who are kind of, obviously jokes because Joker, and Draken is kind of like not really taken that seriously by Kim for most of the show, but then they can also be really, really serious. Like Joker, like he has his serious moments. If you watch any of the Dark Knight movies, if you watch like Under the Red Hood or something like that, Joker has some really intense moments. And as well as that, even Draken has some intense moments towards the end of Kim Possible. One of the movies, So the Drama, is the movie, and he's actually really serious.
So the Drama.
It's a good name. So he's actually really serious in that, and he's kind of there are jokes about him, and like he has his funny moments, but he's generally quite serious. And I think that would fit the kind of idea that I have of Jacob pretty well. So that's one. My other voice out to choice was Ron Perlman, who's probably again more of a Western choice. He's Slade in the Teen Titans cartoon, and he's also Clayface in one of, I think, Batman Arkham City or something like that. So yeah, those are more serious characters. But honestly, I just like his voice. I think his voice purely, it's not even about kind of the roles that he's done. I just think his voice would suit Jacob quite well, just in terms of the look.
I get it. So I was looking through his John DiMaggio's IMDb page. He's also the voice of Marcus Phoenix in the Gears of War series, which is kind of interesting because looking through his filmography and his the games he's been a voice actor in, you see the range where he's done the humor with Bender, he's done the jokey side with Dr. Draken and Kim Possible, but he's also done the serious and more more like he's not messing around type things, which you need for Jacob, who, like you said, he's kind of a goofball a bit, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't really want to mess with him. Actually, did you have anyone in mind for the sub version, or would you like to just say one of your other picks?
I'll just say one of my other picks because I had trouble finding people. For Invil, actually, I think Stein from Soul Eater, Yuya Uchida, I think he would be a really good pick for Invil because the way he voiced Stein, Stein is a sort of is a serious character, but he can also make jokes, and he's a bit crazy. And Invil isn't necessarily like crazy, except for like, can I?
Don't spoil it for them. But
okay, I'm not gonna spoil. But like Invil is a very serious character, so I think that this voice actor would do a really good job of kind of portraying that seriousness.
Because we have Invil, who's he's very cold. No pun intended. Hey, someone needs to come up with them funny jokes. Don't sigh. So far we've gotten, for your choices, we've gotten people from Soul Eater, Sonic the Hedgehog, which is mostly from Soma, which is kind of weird, seeing that they voice characters in Fire Emblem and Sonic the Hedgehog. One last character that we got to talk about, and I want to know who you. He doesn't have a huge role in the arc. He's kind of a throwaway character, not really. But he is a very divisive character. Who would Godzarina be played by?
Godzarina.
I struggled with him too.
I found him quite easy because I thought this character is probably going to be not like always serious, a bit jokey, but I expected him to have quite a not a very deep voice. I expected him to be quite high pitch. So I chose Maxie Whitehead, who did Alphonse Elric dub in Brotherhood.
Yeah, I recognise that name. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting choice.
Whitehead, which I think she also did a couple other things.
I would have I would have Raku from Nisekoi voice Godzarina, just cause both equally as dense. And I won't say more, but I just have Raku voice him. It'd be amazing to see that. I'm pretty sure it turned out horribly, but it'd just be fun to see. Who did you have in mind, Soma?
This is honestly a complete throwaway choice because I really wasn't sure, but I ended up picking Roger Craig Smith, who is the current voice of Sonic the Hedgehog. And he's also the voice for Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Ezio Auditore.
Indeed. Honestly, I wasn't really sure. Because Godzarina, you don't see a huge amount of him. To be 100%.
You can't go from Ezio Auditore, who had like the greatest trilogy, and then go to Godzarina though. Like,
I've already gone from Sonic to Ezio, so.
That's an upgrade. What did you say? Explain your choice. Explain the reason behind that.
Okay, so when I think Godzarina, I think a character who kind of seems serious, perhaps on the surface, but then he's actually like quite goofy. Again, almost like Jacob, he's got a mixture of being really goofy and silly, but then he's also got a serious edge to him. And that's something that I think fits Ezio quite well, especially early on in Assassin's Creed 2. You see that before he kind of gets really serious about being an assassin, he's quite a flirty guy, he's quite a joker, he's a man about town. So I think that's like a pretty decent fit. And Sonic as well, he's like a really kind of wheeling, dealing, kind of freewheeling kind of guy. He's like very lighthearted for most of the time. but then he can also be kind of serious a little bit when he needs to be as well. Which those two things fit. Those two things fit God Serena quite well, I think. And in general, I think I just like Roger Craig Smith's voice. I think he's got quite a range, because it's pretty impressive to have somebody go from voicing, Sonic the Hedgehog to Ezio. So he's got some range to him. So I think he could definitely kind of find a balance between those two to kind of give a good voice for God Serena.
You know who would? I don't know their name off the top of my head, but I saw them on Collider Movie Talk. The voice actor for Starkiller in the Force Unleashed video game.
Oh yeah, that was a good anime.
Who was that?
Game.
I think I knew that at some point. I forgot.
He comes out. He's good friends with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Is it Samuel Whitworth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Samuel Whitworth. He'd be. I don't know who he'd voice, but I think he'd bring something to whatever character he has. He'd bring that extra umph, right? Or it's like, Jesus, this guy's not fucking around. Maybe someone will move from this topic soon, but maybe someone like August, right? Because he did do the voice for Emperor Palpatine.
Yes, Samuel Whitworth has played Darth Maul, Emperor Palpatine / Darth Sidious. He's Starkiller.
He's point is he's a badass.
Yeah. And he's done
he also did
phenomenal
Smallville,
acting.
which is really cool. He was Davis Bloom in Smallville, that was cool. That was a cool little arc.
It's just so we've seen his range, and August is an older character. It'd just be amazing to see what he would do with that. With what he'd bring something entirely different. And granted, we don't know much about the character of August, even us manga readers. Mm-hmm. But it'd be amazing to have him, and it also brings some, I don't know, say credibility, but it bring a new audience, because his audience is very Star Wars oriented, right? So he's done a lot of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Would that be great? With that being said, we've already discussed in depth a good portion of the characters we'd want.
Yeah, we can always see the rest of the
Yeah, so we've already explained some of the characters and who we want them to be voiced by. So we're gonna move on to the manga. So again, if you haven't read the manga, this is your little warning of we're gonna be discussing the spoilers that came out and maybe some connection to the movie. So this is like I said, your warning. And with that being said, we're gonna start. So going back to the movie announcement, first thing I noticed was Urza's bunny suit, which we already saw in the manga, right? And in that same page, we see what I believe is Makarov's dead body, right? Because we don't see his hands, we just see Makarov's grin, and he's got that grin he always has.
Yeah.
So I forgot who mentioned it to me, but they were like, what if the reason we didn't get any news on the movie was because they had to wait till the manga got to a certain part for them to start teasing it?
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I could see
Okay,
that.
and it kind of, and in my opinion, it kind of makes sense, because as you've seen, as the arc has progressed, and we got into the last 2-3 weeks, we started getting more and more information on the movie itself. So, what if this does in fact tie into the manga? What do you guys think?
I'd really want that. I think that should happen, because at this point, I'd like to see. I think Fairy Tail's got to the point where it can have kind of a feature film and have that tie into the series, because I kind of understand why most of the time films like that don't tie in, is for the sake of not alienating fans. But I think a lot of people who would watch the film read the series anyway, so it would make sense for them. And given the fact that I think Fairy Tail seems like it's heading towards some sort of climax, even if it's not necessarily the end of the series, it's heading towards some kind of a, like I said, climax. So I think a movie would be a very good way to do that. And if we're being honest, I think a movie would be quite a good way to cap off this current arc. That would be like very interesting to me.
Ooh, that'd be great. Ooh. So what if the movie? What if the arc ends, but the movie's like the final touches on the arc itself, and then we transition onto another arc?
Exactly. That would
That would mean we'd have like 10 chapters.
I think
eight-ish
that's
chapters
a
left.
really good idea. But the only thing that I would ask is why would they release a movie concerning the arc before continuing the anime? Like when they do the anime first and then release the movie.
Well, we don't know when the anime's coming back, so it can still happen before the movie.
True, I suppose, yeah. But when is the movie coming out? April?
Spring.
The audit, spring.
Sometime in spring.
So that could be like May.
Okay. I mean, it could be from anywhere from like March to May.
What should be the what is it? May? Isn't Mashima's birthday in May?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I forgot his birthday. Can't believe I forgot his birthday. Call myself a fan. Disappointed.
It's
So now
3rd
my
of May,
family.
1997. 1977.
What is? Yeah. So what if the
May.
movie comes
May
out on his
3rd.
birthday?
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be interesting.
Oh,
I like that. I can actually imagine that happening. But, yeah. What day is
It'd be
March
like
the 3rd? I mean,
It'd
May
be
the
like
3rd.
happy birthday, Mashima, and they just release it then. That'd be amazing.
That'd be
Quite
great, yeah.
honestly.
And it's a Wednesday, so I could see it.
Well, I don't know how time works. I don't know if it'd be a Thursday for them or a Wednesday. But it'd be interesting. So the the manga itself that we were waiting for hasn't been released yet. We do have some spoilers for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we should talk about those spoilers.
So, in other words, the spoiler alert is still up.
The spoiler alert for non-chapter teaser viewers is up now. Right. Too many spoiler alerts. We should make up a little headline that says spoiler alert. So Yonko, good old Yonko. I didn't realize that his Tumblr. This is completely off topic, and I apologize. I didn't realize his Tumblr got shut down.
It did?
did it?
It did?
Yeah, it did. I was looking for his Tumblr.
What happened to Tumblr? Why did it shut down?
I have no idea why it got shut down. You know, people reported and Tumblr took action, but that's fine. Whatever. You could still follow him on Twitter. Shameless plug to Yonko. But he released the title of the next chapter, "The Strongest Wizard." Who do you think he's talking about? Is it as obvious as August, or do you think it's someone else?
Gotta be August. Or August, or at a push, Acnologia, because Acnologia is technically a
like
wizard.
the strongest. Is it the tweet he published? Yonko.
Oh, he's published. Yeah, he's published a couple of tweets.
Because like
That's
all I
yeah.
see is the one which is about what the next 521's called.
Yeah, the strongest wizard. So who do you guys think it is, Shadow?
I think it could be Gildarts because like he's always been bigger. Yeah, he's the strongest wizard of Fairy Tail. He's the strongest wizard of Fairy Tail. He's the ace of fairy. It's always been mentioned. He's the strongest. Just
Okay.
See, but it says strongest wizard, not strongest wizard of Fairy Tail.
it's like I mean, either way, like even if we count as just purely strongest wizard, it's probably gonna be Zeref because like people are expecting him to be stronger than August and stuff. Because
Are
like,
they, though?
why would? Well, I mean,
the
people,
problem
if you have all the magic, why the hell are you following a dude? Because
it's not really. I don't think he follows Zeref
I mean, what?
because
I
Zeref's stronger
think it's
than
more
him.
out of loyalty.
Yeah,
I mean, why?
I suspect
I don't
Zeref
really
probably did
like-
something for him.
Kind of like what Zeref did for Irene. I think he did something similar for August.
Yeah.
Obviously not turning him to a human from dragon form, but I think he did something for August that made him be loyal to him,
Yeah, for sure.
which is why he's following him. Because as we know, Zeref isn't that strong. He's another 9 heart. I'll put it in terms of video games, right? Or whatever. He's like the sniper. He just stays back and doesn't really fight close combat because he get wrecked. He wouldn't. So I don't think he just follows Zareth because he's the quote unquote strongest. I just think that he's showing loyalty because he did something for him.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I was going to say that when I saw the strongest wizard, first I thought Zareth, but then I also thought of Mavis. They could be talking about Mavis.
Mavis.
I'd be
Mavis. I mean, she's pretty strong. She's got illusion magic, and she did the whole when she was encouraging the guild, and she made the illusion of her like enormous body. In essence, challenging Irene. So it could be switching back to her.
Okay, I hadn't thought of that. That's interesting. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I couldn't ever give Mavis that title. I'd be a bit.
No, like I don't think she is the strongest wizard, but I think that. Strong could be interpreted in a lot of different ways. It could be strong in terms of magic power. It could be mentally strong.
I get it.
Yeah, I feel
So
that.
you don't think the definition for strongest wizard necessarily means strongest physically? You think it has another meaning?
We could. It could even mean Natsu because we see the seeds, the dragon seed and
Natsu,
the dragon seed and the demon seed shattering. So in terms of the strongest wizard, it could be talking about how Natsu is able to overcome these, him like stop himself from dying.
I see. It could actually be like some kind of maybe call to the future. How because Natsu has these dragon and demon seeds, which to me kind of represent the presences of a dragon and a demon. Perhaps they could both influence him to a level that he could become the strongest wizard. So maybe that could be it.
Going off of that, I think the demon and the dragon seeds are kind of like the yin and the yang, right? The good with the bad, where the dragon, which was Igneo, always represented and showed him how to be right, do right. And the demon, which kind of was corrupt and had no care in the world of who he killed or who he hurt, as we saw when he hurt. Obviously, he was justified in his actions because he saw Lucy quote unquote dead. But we see the anger that came with the demons and the not chivalry, but the positiveness and the way he carried himself with the dragon aspect. And like Icy said, these two things, and one of these spoiler images, these two things shatter, right? So what does that mean? Does that mean he's finally going to be a dragon demon hybrid who's amazing and does all this crazy stuff? Or what do you guys think it means?
To me, I think I mentioned this earlier. I was talking to some people earlier, and like I said, to me, the dragon and demon essences represent the consciousness or presences of a dragon and a demon in Natsu's heart. So to me, when I saw them seeds shatter, I thought, okay, maybe this means that those presences have been erased, and that's why Natsu's able to wake up, because he has kind of full presence, full control of his heart again. So that was what I thought. Maybe this just means that those two things have gone, or maybe they've been absorbed. Maybe those seeds contain something. Maybe those have been absorbed by Natsu, and that's why he's able to wake up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's hard to say because honestly, those seeds, it's up to interpretation as to what they actually are and what they actually do specifically. So it's hard to say precisely what them breaking means.
Well, we know that the dragon seed turns you into a dragon because we saw that with Irene.
Okay, that's true.
So
presumably the demon turns into a demon.
I feel like the seeds breaking is like less of like a physical them being beaten and he's not in return, and more into the fact that because of the dream that he's had, he's realised what's important in his life. He realised he isn't simply a demon made by Zareth, who's also his brother and the son of Igneo, he's Natsu Dragneel, the guy who loves Lucy, and he's a fairy tale member. He's realised what's important to himself because of the dream he's had, and remembering his background.
That's
So-
interesting.
Nalu alert.
And like
That is
he's moved,
a very,
and he's-
very fairy tale answer.
and he's moved on.
I
So
ain't
he's
even mad.
he's just pushed through like mentally and says, I'm not a son of dragon. I'm not a thing. I'm a Natsu dragon. I'm a fairy tale member. And
So
Yeah.
He just moved-
so
he just
what you're
pushes
saying
past it.
is, the breaking of these things, it finally lets him make his own identity instead of living in the identity or in the shadows of being the son of Igneo and the brother of Zareth. That'd be, you know what? And as long as he says, like you said, he loves Lucy, I like it. I like it.
I find that to be a double-edged sword. I mean, on the one hand, I'd appreciate the fact that it shows Natsu's mental fortitude and all the rest of it. It shows how strong he is. It shows it shows that he knows what means the most to him. That being the guild, his pride as a fighter, etc., etc. Lucy, whatever. But on the other hand, I feel like there's a lot of intrigue that's come from the idea of him being potentially a demon, the idea of END, because presumably if they went down that route, that would be the end of END entirely, and I feel like that would be like a waste of a lot of potential that's been built up over the last, however many chapters.
Let's not forget the wasted potential in Natsu versus Grey. And that was atrocious.
That didn't need to happen. It shouldn't have happened.
See, and the thing is, I think Mashima is in a lose-lose situation. END is never gonna live up to the hype that the fan base set for it. It's realistically speaking, it's not gonna happen because they hyped it up as Zareth's strongest demon, and everybody assumed that the strongest meant physically, and when we know that his strongest demon for him wasn't that it was physically the strongest, but it was the strongest because it's the one he had the strongest bond to, because it was his brother. So
they only took it one way when it meant many other ways, basically.
so it's a very lose-lose situation. If he does have an END form, oh well, you know what, it didn't live up to the hype. If he doesn't, well, why did you tease it so much? It's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out, but I don't think
Sorry, I'd like to sort of tie this back with my predictions last episode, where I thought that the order of appearance of people in Natsu's heart was from, the people who
least
have
importance
the
to greatest.
smallest role in his life to the biggest, and the last people we saw in his heart was Igneel.
Yes.
And with the seed shattering, I mean, I think what Shadow said could be what happens, but what I think is that Lucy and Happy will appear in his heart, and then it'll sort of be a Nakama moment where, he'll push through because he knows that he can't die because he has to live for, these people in his life.
Don't forget, he also told Happy they have a lot of things to do after the war.
Yeah.
When they were in Lucy's house. Just throwing that out there for all you Nalu fans.
So I think that him seeing Lucy and Happy and sort of, talking with them in his heart will have him say, no, I'm not going to die, and then,
See, but that kind of... Because we have one final picture that shows us, right? And we see Natsu's kind of shocked. So something must have happened in his heart, or he must have seen something or found out something to have him wake up. Well, it looks like he just woke up, right? And suddenly be shocked.
Well, I mean, even during, in his heart, when he was meeting with Zareth, and we got sort of the history of Natsu's childhood and everything. I mean, even that would be shocking, even without everything else. Even though that was the first thing that he saw in his heart, I think waking up he would be like, whoa. that just happened.
And I just want to interject. Natsu's not the only one looking shocked in that picture.
Yeah, yeah. Natsu's like, sorry, Lucy is like, what the hell?
He's just like, oh god, what's he gonna think?
Because I think Lucy is shocked because, well, obviously we could only interpret so much, right? But Natsu suddenly waking up, I think that's what shocks Lucy.
I think she's just super embarrassed because she's.
Well, no, because we would have seen her. We would have seen her. We've seen how she looks flustered. I don't think.
Well, yeah, they're naked.
No, well, but
and she's lying on top of him.
I mean,
she's on the side of him in the picture, by the way.
Oh, excuse me.
Not on top.
She's got that full blush going.
Excuse me. Yeah, exactly.
It just doesn't make sense.
I don't know about you, but if I was in that situation, I would look exactly the same way she does. So
to me, that's a face that just says, "Please shoot me now."
Yeah.
Essentially. I disagree because we've seen her. We just saw her a few chapters ago, and how embarrassed she looked. In this one, sure, she looks slightly blushing. But she looks more surprised, and the fact that Natsu's like straight up and just looks freaking traumatized and is trying to say something is kind of. This chapter needs to get out soon.
But you can also see that this is the panel where Natsu is sitting up because there's like little lines underneath his arm, which is sort of like, in manga and comics. When you're showing an action, you like find the lines. I don't know how to explain that. But yeah, so this is like he's woken up and then all of a sudden he's sitting up and he's like, almost like waking up from a bad dream.
So you guys think that it's Natsu just waking up and Lucy being flustered at the fact that he's awake?
I think so.
Shadow's like, I'm not even impressed. I'm just gonna ignore this question.
Sorry, I was thinking. I think she's like Lucy is partly flustered, but I think it's more like her eyes and his mouth in that part of the panel we have looks like she's more like worried and scared about Natsu than flustered.
I don't know. To me, it just looks like she's shocked that to me, it just looks like she wasn't expecting him to wake up. So she's like a mixture of, he's just like a mixture of, oh god, I wasn't expecting this, and oh god, I'm naked.
Also another thing is that her cheek is like pressed against his shoulder, which is like another thing where it's sort of like he's unexpectedly woken up.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I said, and y'all said no. That's fine though. We're gonna move. we're gonna move on to other spoilers.
Right.
So they also said that there's also a text spoiler, which was in this chapter. Universe 1 is dispelled, and Hisu gets her human appearance back.
Isn't it Hisui?
Ooh, Hisui.
Hisui. More irrelevant than Nob and Jed and Joy, but let's get her human form back.
Well, this is obviously because of Irene. I think this is definitely saying that Irene's died, and that her enchantments have been unraveled.
Or at least she's unconscious. So
she's out of commission.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that every Spriggan who was shown to be quote-unquote dead has in fact been dead. Got Serena, everybody said, oh, he's alive. No, he's not. He's dead as hell. Twice, to be exact.
I don't know why people thought he would be alive. Acting like he literally tore his body apart.
Yeah.
We had Wall. Falco punched and his robot got disassembled. Serena. We already said Serena, I'm sorry. Irene stabbed herself through the heart because she couldn't kill her daughter. We could argue
the stomach.
But she was stabbed through the heart, but she gave love a good name.
Well, she was whatever. Not even gonna acknowledge that. Well, don't forget she was already like bleeding out because she had a cut in her skull, right?
Oh yeah.
So she's already stabbing herself. She's like, she's not a fairy tale, so you can't make the gag that nobody dies because she's in fairy tale. But she ain't fairy tale. She is Spriggan. Spriggan have died.
Yeah, the villains died.
So I would agree that, in fact, Irene, or Universe 1 being dispelled means Irene is dead. That also means that Acnologia is gonna play a
Oh, here we go.
no, he's gotta have to play a part, because the last time we saw him, he was by Mount Hakabe before the Universe 1.
There's been a lot of funny fan art saying that Acnologia was just like randomly dropped in the ocean.
Yeah, he can't swim. That's why he was struggling. That's why he was struggling to get back to the mainland. But it's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out, because the 10-year-old tree is not gonna be connected to the mainland anymore. The castle is not gonna be next to the cathedral.
Well, actually, if Universe 1 is dispelled, do we really know that everything's going to be put back into its place?
I mean,
because the size of Ishgal could be, like the size of Ishgal.
Ishgal.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ishgal. Thank you. The size, because it said it was reduced to a 20th of the original size, so it could go back to its original size. But how do we know that everything's going to be put back in its place?
Yeah, presumably if everything got put back in its place, every person would also get put back in their place, and that would be bad news bears, because then Acnologia is right next to Irene.
Well, no, because Irene was in movement, and like I said, the last known sighting of Acnologia was Mount Hakabe. It's just gonna be interesting, basically, how Mashima makes this shit happen.
I don't know how. I think I'd be a little. I don't know. I kind of don't want the world to go back to how it was, because I think it'll be quite interesting to see, like, at the end of the war, how people kind of readjust their lives. Because having your whole country shrunk down to a 20th of its size is, like, that's huge. So there's so much that we'd have to work out. They'd have to work out, like, territories, like new landmarks, new countries. Like people have to like kind of understand where their land is and divvy that up again. People will be living a lot close to each other. You'd have to wonder if guilds would even be necessary, because you're in such a small environment. You've got all these wizards, all like living basically under each other's feet. Like, would you even need guilds anymore? So I think there'd be like a lot.
Oh my god.
Oh, another thing is that during this entire arc, I had the question, which was what happened, like what's happening with the citizens, because it said that only 10% of the population are wizards. So what about the other 90%?
And you know what? If we go Soma's way, survival of the fittest, you ain't a wizard, you dead.
Well, we saw in like Harjon, not like when they were at the Battle of Harjon, that apparently they were all the people had been evacuated somewhere. So
yeah, but we were never told where.
Yeah, I mean, I'd assume they'd have been evacuated out of Fiore simply because all the soldiers are in Fiore. If you move them all outside Fiore, they're not going to be harmed. But
yeah, but they just went to another city.
And the city got probably destroyed, like in.
Yeah, what happened to Magnolia? Like, what happened to the citizens of Magnolia? Like, was that ever explained?
So this was going to happen. The same thing that happened in Your Name is going to happen to the citizens.
What? No. Oh, no. No.
I'm not even sure someone's seen that yet.
I haven't seen it, so.
It's fine. I'm not
spoiling. See that.
First of all, I didn't spoil what happened. I'm just saying what happens in Your Name.
You didn't spoil what happened, but you're going to make me cry again.
I'm just saying, it'll be a nice reference. That's what it'll be.
I'd rather not sob on the podcast. Thanks very much.
So with that being said, let's start wrapping things up. Icy, just your final thoughts on what you think is going to happen, and just a goodbye.
Alright, so I think my prediction for this next chapter, due to the spoilers, the seeds are destroyed. I think Natsu will be partially Nakamified.
I hate that word.
And we know that Universe 1 is dispelled, so it's possible that everyone will be sent to different places again. Well, we'll see what happens. So, I don't know, those are my predictions.
Soma?
Right, so the way I kind of have it in my mind, I imagine the chapter will start with kind of continuing on with what happened with Irene. So I think we'll see maybe a final words between her and Urza. Urza will try and kind of understand what she just went through, because you have to remember what this is. This is Urza fighting her mother, and then her mother committing suicide. And then her mother dying in front of her. So that's a lot to process in one go, especially when it turns out your mother's, who she is. So I think she's gonna try and process that, or maybe get a couple of panels of her trying to figure that out. I think once we see Irene die, we'll get kind of that's when we'll see, or become out of commission. We'll see the effect that has in terms of Universe 1, because I suspect we'll see that get dispelled. So maybe we might see the landmass start to change. Maybe areas and people will start to move back to their original locations. We might see how that affects things. I think past that, we'll see Natsu. We'll go back to Natsu, be back in his heart. We'll have the kind of almost to the finale, the wrapping up of this little journey through his heart that he's had. Maybe Ignil will come through. Maybe Lucy will come in. Maybe somebody very important to him, at any rate, will come in. It could even be Zeref again, or it could be, I don't know, who hasn't been there. Urza, I don't know. Just to kind of finish it off, we'll see the seeds disappear, and I think once we see the seeds be destroyed, that will be Natsu waking up. What that actually means, we'll have to find out when the chapter starts. But I think we'll have Natsu wake up, and then we'll have him and Lucy have a bit of a reuniting or whatever, and then move on from there, and that'll be the chapter.
For my prediction, I feel like everything's going to be reset for Universe 1 being ended. So all the people seeing, and all we're going to see is Jacob unconscious as he lost against Mira. We never see that fight. We don't see it. All we see is that Jacob's now conscious again. We also see Wow disappear. We don't see anything about Wow. He's just disappeared because he was only
spirit.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, was he already defeated?
Wait, isn't he's already gone?
Yeah, he's always. Who's his other fight? Who's his other fight?
Geo.
Is it a Geo or quick continue? Yeah, Geo.
No, I was just explaining what Shadow was asking, but
Geo was fighting Lizana and Elfman. We see Lizana and Elfman unconscious because they both aren't strong enough together to beat a Spriggan, to be honest. Although Lizana isn't as useless as people would say she is.
Anyway.
I mean, and then what else? Well, obviously Natsu waking up, gnarly moment, fan service moment.
You ruined
There's
it.
going to be fan service moment. She's naked.
Oh, come on, they're literally naked. There's no way this can't be fan service.
I feel this is more like a resolution sort of chapter. Not much happens other than we get a Nalu and a fan service moment. We see the resolution of the Jacob fight where he's unconscious. We don't see the fight. We see a Geo just standing, but we also see Elfman and Zana in their separate places, unconscious. We see and maybe the end bit just basically reaffirms what happens with Urza and Wendy and Irene, as just a resolution for that a bit as well, and then maybe some cliffhanger of probably Joel, August, Gildot, Laxus fight happening, like a last panel sort of thing.
Oh, that'd be cool. If maybe Universe 1 Universe 1 getting reversed made it so that the four of them got transported to each other. That'd be cool.
So my prediction isn't as long as these light novels that these two gentlemen stated. Mine's just gonna be simple. It's gonna be Universe 1 is reversed, like the spoiler said. You're gonna see some repercussions of that. You're gonna see some characters moved around. Maybe a tease or two of Acnologia. You're gonna focus on Natsu's heart the most. You're gonna see him. We're gonna end the chapter with Natsu waking up and the bottom line saying the strongest wizard. So that's my prediction. Like I said, it's not as long as extensive as these light novels that Soma constantly gets plagiarized for, or Shadow.
I've not been plagiarized.
But
I haven't written any. I never wrote any predictions to get plagiarized.
I also think, just because I'm trying to troll right now, I think Hisui's gonna lead the Democratic charge and have people vote and elect her queen again, because democracy and some shit. That'd be funny.
Democracy.
Democracy, you already know it. That being said, that obviously that last portion was me that was in the serious prediction, except the fact that I think it'll end with Natsu waking up and him just being shocked. Alright, so we're gonna wrap things up. You could find me on Reddit or the Discord as Spidey or Astonishing Spider-Man. You could find Icy as Icy Confidential, Soma as Somasaur7, and Shadow as the Hyper Shadow. With that being said, adios.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys.